Hello, and welcome back to the Lost Archives. My name's Owen, and we are playing Disco Elysium. Now, last we left off, we did a bit of an explore of southern Martinez. We had a bit of a look down through the Martinez waterfront. There's still a whole area we can't get to because of a damaged waterlock. And there's nowhere further we can go. But the good news is there's a whole lot of extra space on this map that we have not explored yet. So we're going to have to go and check that out. But for now, it's time to follow up on some of our more pressing tasks. One of which was to talk to the people inside the Whirling in Rags. There were a bunch of people that we walked past that Kim wanted us to speak to. These were the dock workers who apparently we needed to get a bit more information on. Before we do that though, I'm actually going to head around here and we're going to head over to the area behind the Whirling in Rags yard. The reason being, Evrart Claire, who unfortunately knows where our gun is blackmailing us. Oh. A lonely cormorant surveys the sea, indifferent to your approach. The belly of this boat shines like it was recently painted. So we can do all of these orbs now. Rue de Saint-Guillet, roundabout north. Capeside Apartments. We'll need to put our... Oh, we also got the boombox last session as well. That was the other thing we did. Jacket, +1 suggestion.
Up here, Piggo.
Hello, Cindy. What you doing? There's a girl up there. Did she spill the paint? Inside, the frame of a motorcycle in repair and the tools used to disassemble it.
The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
The girl stares at the sailboat by the pier.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
Just answer some questions, alright?
Ask away, pigman, but I don't promise to answer.
Despite the sass, she puts the brush aside.
She's grown frustrated with her work and welcomes the opportunity to challenge authority in other ways.
You keep looking off to the side. What are you looking at?
The lieutenant is desperately searching for another handkerchief.
That's not what it says. She turns her head to face the coast and nods disdainfully toward Joyce, performing maintenance on her boat.
Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
You mean Joyce?
On a first-name basis with her, are we? Piggy's moving up in the world.
Hold on, what's his on?
It's where they grow whores like her. And they're whoremen.
Why all the negativity?
Have you got a crush on her? Aching for an opportunity to defend her honour.
What are you doing to that wall?
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
So you don't know what to write?
Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home and Mona was here.
True.
We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cads. And my name's not Mona, so...
Fair enough.
She wants it to be something true and total.
I have an opinion on this. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah?
I love public art. Don't mind us. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
Good.
You've lessened her desire to deface the building.
Do you know anything about the recent murder, Cindy?
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
All right, fair enough.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
Alright, catch you later, Cindy.
Watch your back, Ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
Concerning. Well, let's pick up these green orbs we didn't pick up earlier, and I guess while we're here, we could show the tattoo to Joyce. Maybe she seems to know a lot about lots of different things. Looks like there was more construction here once, decades ago. Docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Guilain, Lane, 33A. Your room in the Whirling isn't much bigger than this sloop. This is worth more than you'll ever earn in all your life. It's pretty brutal.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
By the way, I talked to Evrart Clare.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
I can do business with him. For a socialist, he's reasonable. It's not important if I liked him. I was doing my job. He's a beautiful man. Beautiful and just. How do I feel about Evrart? I feel like he's clearly intelligent. I feel like he's outsmarting us. I feel like there's more to him. I'm going to stick with a sort of more reasonable one. I have a feeling the international community does not approve of him.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, actually...
Corruption. I do think he's quite corrupt.
Corruption?
Yeah.
That's how he's done it. Fantastic, worm-like corruption, reaching into the bowels of the earth.
I agree.
The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you understand. The RCM does not pick sides.
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt worm myself. However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Joyce is just as clever as Evrart, maybe even more clever, because what she's doing is she's disarming me with charm. By being lovely, by being friendly, by being casual, when in actual fact I think she's also manipulating me pretty successfully.
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things.
Yes, your disgusting necktie agrees completely. Let's gossip.
No, I don't want to. No. I'd rather talk about something else for now, if you don't mind.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat.
I'm not going to mention my missing gun with her. I am certainly not going to talk about the fact that we accepted money from her.
Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
I'll just double check, were there any more questions about reality? I think we've answered all of them, though.
More lessons in basic reality?
Oh, no.
My favourite part of the day.
Oh, we forgot
Go
to come...
ahead, ask me anything.
We forgot to come back after the jamais vu realization. Oh, my goodness. Okay, we should do that. I might... let's try the Esprit de Corps. We've got loads of pluses on that. RCM can access ICP database. RCM uses unjacketed ammo. RCM Kim debrief done. Okay, so let's do the Esprit de Corps one. Let's see if we can figure out what is...
6 kilometers southwest in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?"
That's a great nickname for me.
"Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again.
And I will.
We always do.
What am I?
You? You're an officer of the RCM.
The Revachol Citizens Militia.
Preciso mundo.
Good, and what is the Revachol Citizens Militia?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Yes, We are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
We are. You said de facto?
Yes, that means not de jure.
Yeah.
The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin.
That's it for who I am part then.
Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are to me is the police, the only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol. And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I am here to help.
Alright, let's give it a go. What is reach for something fundamental?
What is all of this? The scent, the sound, the air.
What world is this?
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water.
What do you see?
Great bodies of water, forest-covered surfaces, clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough. There is a term of endearment they coined for it, in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included.
What is it?
Elysium.
Elysium. The world needs a term of endearment.
It does. There are those who would call it hell.
But what is hell?
A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists.
I've got a clearer picture. Let's proceed to another term.
Let's. I am, after all, bourgeois and female. Hardly the perfect ambassador for the world.
Actually, I'll see if there's anything else we can learn here.
What world?
The camera of her mind
say nothing this
glides over the...
Great bodies of water.
It's the
There is a term
same.
of Elysium.
Let's stick with that.
It
Alright,
does. A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists.
I don't feel like I've got the whole picture yet.
Oh, you want a picture of the world?
Yeah, that'd be great.
There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit.
How come?
Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways.
How about it's a ball? That's the shape of the world. It's a globe.
That's looking less and less likely, Detective. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
ORG. Occident Revachol Grad.
Three most powerful cities. Three most powerful nations, I should say.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three, they're piecing together a dark grey corona.
A dark grey corona.
Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
It's time to talk about the Pale. The world of Disco Elysium, when they've talked about isolas, I'm sure you, the same as me, the very first time I heard this, imagined islands. And they are. A lot of the land masses are islands in ocean. But they're not just separated by water. Most of this planet's surface is covered with the Pale. Almost like, I guess, like information-less matter. Matter that doesn't have information anymore. It is nothingness. And the corona, the flares, the arcs, that's basically the Pale covering the whole surface of this world. My god, wait, what the hell are you telling me?
You seem to be spooked. Please don't be.
The Pale, what do you mean corona?
They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness. I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound.
A fractured corona of rarefied matter doesn't feel like it's going to bring anyone together.
You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it.
Well, if you say it's disco.
See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities.
Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your sides. The lieutenant observes you both, silently. He adjusts his glasses.
You said pale. What is pale?
The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality.
Yes. Also, I think we've had enough excitement for today. We do have a case to attend to.
His voice is low, but firm. All she can say is,
Of course, Lieutenant. Let's try something else.
Okay, then. We'll come back later without Kim. We'll talk to Joyce.
the lieutenant glances at you from the corner of his eye. Was he just worried that you would find out something awful? But she wants to tell you.
We could ask Kim to step away, but that's okay.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
Once Kim takes the body back, we'll come talk to Joyce a bit more. Do you know something about these tattoos? And I'll show her the photo.
That's the man who was killed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
So you do know something about the tattoos.
Better not tie the forestay to the backstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
No, she's holding it hostage until we complete the jam mystery. Okay, fair enough.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
Thank you, Joyce. That's all for now. All right. That's okay. That's really simple. We need to solve the jam mystery before we get any more from her. And we'll come back and find out a little bit more about the Pale later on. So let's head up through here. Oh, let's see if we can do anything with this wall.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Why am I looking at this wall?
You have no clue. It's just a wall. So many walls all over Martinez. Weather-worn, cracked, their paint peeling.
Fair enough. Come back and try that again later. Let's have a look around here. No point talking to Kuno S. Kuno S is a monster. Garden hose. This won't be of use until the snow melts. A balcony with a view to the yard. And the hanging.
Hey, what's that noise down there?
Chairs and tables eaten by rain and rot. Another splattering of bullet holes on this wall. These barrels are half full of rainwater. Oh, hello. That smoker up there could be a witness. Talk to him. Okay, we'll talk to him in a second. Let's do this first.
This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head.
Let's see if there's anyone inside first. Press your ear against the door.
The leather upholstery is worn and rough against your jaw. You don't hear any movement.
Okay.
In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you. No birds chirp.
All right, let's unlock the door.
You try to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of rattling of the handle to loosen the bolt. Finally, the door unlocks with a small clack. Thoughts race through your head. Well, buddy, you opened it. No need to go inside. It would be rude. There's nothing else to do than to leave and tell Evrart. No conceivable reason for you to intrude on the premises. Only curiosity could account for stepping over that threshold. Maybe there's treasure in there. A white alligator. A fountain of quicksilver.
Oh, of course I'm going in. I can't help myself. Of course I'm going in. What have we got here? All sorts of interesting stuff. small suitcase full of clothes. Guests are staying over. A book titled The Hidden World of Walking Sticks lies open. You can almost feel the warmth of the red sun on the flag.
This is the flag of Revachol, the suzerainty.
What's with the sun?
This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. This is the sevenfold sun miracle.
What's the sevenfold sun miracle?
It's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather. 6 small suns around the big one. This complex halo phenomena is how old Revachol got its flag.
It's pretty cool.
It is but one of the many strange optic atmospheric phenomenon of this wondrous archipelago. You're sure you once saw sundogs in your youth, and blue flares.
Lieutenant, the old flag of the suzerain.
Mm-hmm. The tenant is an old-fashioned guy.
I'm not bowing to the flag.
The flag doesn't seem to mind.
Oh, okay.
It's just a colourful fabric with a sun sewn onto it. Like all feudal flags, it looks like a children's drawing.
Brutal. What else have we got here? Whoever lives here admires fair-haired fantasy heroes with big muscles. Ah, inter-easterly dress shirt. Say that?
A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst mysterious symbols.
Oh.
A broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes, and others.
We found the owner of our racist mug. Tap on the mugs.
A little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There's something disdainful in the way the curves and lines of the bodies were drawn. The images betray a lack of interest in human beings. They are merely unflattering caricatures.
And that... what do I mean uncomfortable?
The owner of these mugs doesn't like people of other ethnicities very much.
Typical asshole.
This person is unhappy. The lieutenant picks up one of the mugs, then puts it back down with a look of disdain.
I'm beginning to feel better about breaking into this man's apartment.
It's definitely going to... Yeah, let's whip out the yellow man mug, but it's definitely going to be the same as these.
Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at home here. The same humor, the same mocking lines.
Yeah.
There's the missing tin soldier. Whoever lives here might have used the Whirling's container to dump his trash.
Okay, we need to find this person because if he's got access to the... Oh my goodness, I didn't realize that this was actually a really important lead until just that second. He's got access to the trash can, which means he might have thrown out the clothes.
And now they've drawn the ire of the Union. The plot thickens, as they say.
An interesting little clue. Let's see where this goes. Clues have a way of magically connecting to other clues down the road. Perhaps you should break into apartments more often.
Do you really think it's the same person who put the dead man's clothes in the trash?
Who knows? I'm not expecting too much from this clothes in the trash lead either way. It might turn out to be some random local matter, but still, a nice coincidence.
Yeah, an interesting one, definitely. Oh. Smell of disinfectant in the room. Smells like chemicals. Okay, nothing more in here for us to look at. Let's see what the story is with this man.
You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette. His eyes have been following you for a while.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
He says in a quiet voice. Despite the cold, his shirt hangs unbuttoned on his frame. No trouble from me, just want to know what's going on here.
I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
Actually, the gendarmerie really needs to talk to you.
Is it really that important?
Yeah.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run.
Looks like, if we ask his name, he's not going to tell us his name. It looks like you got a good view of the Whirling's backyard. Can you tell me anything about the hanging?
I can tell that you finally got him down. Thank you. It was quite a disturbing sight, even by Martinet's standards.
What were you doing last Sunday?
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you?
Did you? I'm pretty sure I didn't. No, did you? I'll look at Kim.
No, not you two. Some more muscular type.
Oh.
And when did you speak to this more muscular gentleman?
The lieutenant takes out his little blue notebook and writes something down.
Last week? I don't know. Look.
He looks around the courtyard again. Old patio chairs and dead houseplants litter the scene.
You didn't answer the question. What were you doing last Sunday?
I had a friend over.
What kind of friend?
It was my Sunday friend.
Sunday friend.
Makes sense. Friends are nice on Sunday. You don't have to work. You can just spend time with pals, watching rugby and drinking beer.
What's your friend's real name? Did he see something?
He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. In the neighboring windows, you can see faint reflections of his silhouette, all from different angles.
Can you tell me your name?
My name? My name is Martin Martinez.
Martin Martinez? Good local name. Let's go with that.
Damn it. It's clearly not. We're in Martinez. All right, we'll talk later.
No. We won't.
He takes one last drag of his cigarette before stubbing it out on the balcony.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
No, you need to stay, mate.
This isn't the place or time for questions. Who knows who might be watching from the distance, hidden behind the curtains?
Hey, listen, I'm just trying to make things okay again. Can we meet again somewhere else?
For a moment, the man on the balcony seems almost vulnerable. Something moves in the depths of his feline eyes, compassion, and a hint of understanding.
I am sorry, but I really don't have the information you're looking for.
His voice is soft and deliberate. With a flick of his wrist, he sends the cigarette butt sailing over the rail.
But, hold on, what's that? For a split second, his hand lingers, as though gesturing towards a stone placed right next to the front door. It's a sign.
Good luck with the investigation.
Okay, we're definitely gonna... Okay, cool. Thank you, mate. Okay, so he's heading up to one of the upper apartments. Good to know. I'm hoping this gives us access to this building.
He's gone.
We should run after him, see where he went.
No point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know how to hide himself.
So we just give up?
He could be a witness. Him or his Sunday friend. Either way, we need to look into that muscular type who's asking about our case.
We already know where they are.
He did leave us a sign. Did you see that? He wanted to draw our attention to that stone right over there.
The lieutenant nods towards a small rock on a soggy patch of grass.
If we find a way inside the building, we can ask around for his apartment.
Great, let's do that.
A stone, like any other, lying in a whirl of sleet and mud. Maybe there's something under it.
Turn it over.
There's a key beneath it, rusty from the dirt.
This must be for the front door. Pity doesn't have the apartment number on it. This building has many apartments and the man can be in any of them.
How are we going to find the right one?
We'll just have to go in and see.
All right, let's put the stone back. I think for the moment, we won't go in and explore the apartment building. I think let's go and talk to the union. Oh, no, but they're only there after 4? It said the room was reserved for them after 4, but we did see them there this morning when we came down. Let's head back and talk to the union boys. And then we'll maybe see about leaving Kim, letting Kim take the body. I'm just aware of the time, and I don't want to leave the body there any longer than I have to. So let's see if we can talk to the boys now. We've done the power move. We walked right past them. We've spent a whole day doing other stuff. Yeah. Oh, looks like we've got some interesting stuff going on here too. It's a bowl. There's spit in it, reeking of tobacco. Window too.
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling-height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers.
I'll squint.
There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's still too cold outside.
-12 on this check because it's not time yet. interesting. Let's give it a go.
Nothing. Just black tangles like the hair of an old woman. Motionless. The wind in the yard doesn't reach the hawthorn, nor does the light come in from this window.
So basically we'd have to get the 2 6s, and even then it's -12 because it's not time, so we're not going to get that. All right, let's head back in. Let's talk to our gardener friend, who we know was up to some shenanigans.
Let me handle this.
The woman says to the crowd in the mess hall before turning to you.
You seem a little different today. Less hospitable.
You are far from home, Lieutenant. This isn't a district known for its love of self-proclaimed militiamen.
I mean no trouble. I'm here to do my job, that's all.
Not a muscle moves in her face, but her eyes trace yours, stern and perceptive.
You are looking for Titus Hardie, who you think has information on a murder the RCM is investigating. You want to interview him.
She points to the man standing in the middle of the room.
That's Titus. Talk to him, but know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming, nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
Who is this woman?
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have to.
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her.
What's your role in all this?
Obviously, I'm a lawyer.
Oh.
A legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union. I would urge you to consider what you say to my clients.
What if I want to talk to you, not Titus?
What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one.
Wow.
I saw what you were thinking. You want to say, what are you going to do to me? Don't. Just because it's in your head doesn't mean you have to say it.
Authority's telling me not to exert my authority. What the hell?
You will not lose out on anything good by not saying it.
Hang on. You will not lose out on anything good by not saying it. You will lose out good things by saying it. I love there's like multiple positives and negatives in that. Why are you so aggressive?
Aggressive? You make your living enforcing violence. These people are just dock workers.
Hang on. What do you mean enforcing violence?
So you were spying on us, and now you represent murder suspects. Just dock workers.
Listen, you moral intern lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Wow.
Fuck yeah.
The tall, broad-shouldered man takes a sip of his beer.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
Okay. I liked that. Good start. Let's take it a step further. Armed uprising. What are the Union's plans? Oh. I don't know who heard that, but it's wrong. The RCM is principled and strong, unlike you socialists. Yeah, let's do that. Let's ask those questions. I don't want to get into anything political with those.
Let's.
I should talk to Titus then. Alright, here we go.
This is where you say your bid.
A broad-shouldered man points at you with a beer can.
He's used to giving orders and having them obeyed immediately. You should not indulge him.
Detective.
The lieutenant acknowledges you with a sharp note. He's leaving it to you.
Precinct 57's finest scans the room, leaving the speaking to you. He trusts you. Maybe against his better judgment, but he does.
I won't say anything yet then.
Hey, dipshit. You hard of hearing or something? The boss man's talking to you.
Cross your arms.
What, is he fucking kidding? This guy high or something?
The little guy looks at his mates in disbelief.
Hey, asshole, up here. We're talking to you.
We are looking for Titus Hardie.
The lieutenant turns to the broad-shouldered man at the end of the table. We need to talk about the man hanged out back.
Oh, this is about him. A real looker, that one.
Oh, this is a great voice. A real looker, that one. I'm going to remember this voice and use it in D&D. This is awesome.
You sure took your time, huh? Waited for him to get real ripe and pretty for you.
Oh, he was a real pretty boy. Hanging up there, letting out that pretty boy smell.
I can't for the life of me understand why you did it. I mean, I would have just left him up there. You must really like cleaning up other people's shit.
Yikes, this is going well.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
Good to know, thank you, Elizabeth.
These guys are so macho, they're ready to confess to first-degree murder. Ask if it was them.
Okay.
Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Chances are they're going to match.
Scan the room.
Starting from the right. Boot size 44. Blonde man, in his 30s. Overbearingly masculine. Sitting on his right. Standard working boots. Size 45 or 46. Eldest in the room. Probably mid-50s. Smoker. Quiet. Across at the other table. Hobnailed working boots. Size 43. Gang tattoos. Mesk or Sarah Mauritian. In his late 30s, early 40s.
It's them. These are the people who were there in the yard.
And then, standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 46. The big dick. Wide at the shoulders and lean at the hips. Rugby cap. Fingerless gloves. And numerous scars. A little under 40.
Oh boy.
The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below it reads T. Hardie, Captain. In the far corner, standard working boot, steel reinforced toes, size 44, 40-something, non-alcoholic beverage in hand. You squint. Is that a plectrum?
Where?
On his neck. Forget it. It's not important. Let's call this one the musician.
And the little guy.
Size 41, with the light step. Not a child, after all. An older man with a rat face, mean, watery eyes, and 2 front teeth missing. In the middle, heaving and wheezing. Big guy. Boot size 46, deep marks. Probably carried the victim over. He alone is 130 kilos. Add the man in armor, and you could easily exceed 220.
Shit.
In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there's a discrepancy.
One of them's missing. The odd soul.
Exactly. You've stood there for about 4 seconds, not saying anything. Hit them with questions. Where's the 8th Hardie?
The fuck is with you, fella?
I found 8 sets of footprints, but there's only 7 of you. Where's the 8th Hardie boy?
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardie boy. There's 7 of us and we're all here. Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardie boy? We ain't hiring.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
This person Glenn wants to hire, he really respects her. She? So there's an 8th Hardie, and it's a Hardie girl? Who might it be? Elizabeth? The gardener?
No, because he said she's not here. There's no 8th Hardie, and there's 7 of us and we're all here. Actually, possibly... okay, they didn't say that. But he did say we're all here. I don't know. I don't think it is Elizabeth. Maybe it is.
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here. Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardie boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardie Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. End.
He points to the lieutenant.
You're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
Funny you mention a bullet in the back of the head, Titus.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardie sooner or later.
The man hanged in the backyard. Did you do it?
The pretty boy. You guys really love talking about that pretty boy.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
Why is there a container belt around a dead man's neck?
Container belt? Like we use in the harbor?
Yeah. Why?
Because we took it from the harbor where we work. Then we went out back and used it to hang him. We did this together, all of us, until he was dead. That's why there's a container belt around his neck.
And it would be believable were it not for the fact we found a bullet in the back of the dead man's head.
There's a catch hidden somewhere. He didn't confess so that you could take them all away. It's too simple.
But there's a catch.
There is no catch. These 7 honest men have all equally come forth to tell you what happened, so that you don't waste any more of your time.
They're playing to their considerable strength in numbers. Don't talk about arresting them. You'll only bring attention to your inability to do so.
You murdered him just like that. No remorse.
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
Ooh. Yeah, but these were all bad people. Criminals. Scum of the earth.
Rest assured, lawman. None worse than our guy. He got what was coming to him.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a suspicion, and we're getting it reinforced time and time again, that the man out the back, the hanged man, was part of a military attaché, this paramilitary group, who change their names every bit. Multiple times they've changed their names, which means that they can't be associated with their previous name because they've probably done some horrific stuff. Why they're here in Martinez, I don't know. When did this hanging incident occur? I'm not going to ask about who called the shots just yet because they're going to say all of us. I want to get a few more questions first.
You don't have to answer any of his questions.
The fixer turns to remind Titus. Yep.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
How long had you known the victim?
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Brilliant.
Yeah! Who do you think we are?
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
Ah, Joyce, you do know more. Damn it.
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier? The representative for White Pines? The same company you are striking against?
Oh no. He's a mercenary here to break up the strike. Which means that person at the front, the strike breaker, probably is as well. Oh no.
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what? Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
I am definitely going to be talking to Joyce a bit more about this.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
Why'd you kill him?
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out of line in my town.
So he was a mercenary. That's it?
And he stepped out of line.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Semenine written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
Shit, oh no, I'm kind of sympathizing with these men.
This one has a special gripe with him coming here.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
How much percent do they get from every cargo? 8%? It's a very, very rich company. Hold on, how do you even know he was into special forces?
Cause one night, he walked straight up to the mic and said, I'm RNE's goddamn special forces, and I'm gonna fuck you all!
That'd do it.
Really?
Yeah, really. Had a gin and tonic up there, sang some RNE's paratrooper song, and said he's gonna fuck everyone.
I'd love to judge, but unfortunately I think Harry has been doing similar stuff. In fact, we know Harry has been doing and saying similar stuff.
We couldn't believe it either, but he fucking did. Right there. Like some kind of animal.
And we are planning on getting up on that stage and singing karaoke as well.
This is a serious violation of the karaoke code.
Okay, besides crimes against karaoke, what did he actually do wrong?
Wrong? He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
Okay, I think he got what was coming to him then in that case.
There's a slight unease in him suddenly. He regrets mentioning the rape.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. And that was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started to come in here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grabbed one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
Yikes.
He grabbed someone?
The lieutenant is trying to make sense of the flood of information.
Yeah, this girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Was this the same girl who was sexually assaulted?
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you.
Oh.
He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Good. Some good news there.
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
Yeah, right, but who did he sexually assault? This is a serious allegation.
No. You're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter. And I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
Interesting.
Despite the stonewalling, you can slip one more question in.
I'm going to ask for one last time. Who did the dead man rape?
Titus, do not answer. You have been forthcoming enough.
Fuck off, Carl. She's gone through enough without you harassing her too. She doesn't need more embarrassment.
What are you talking about? Embarrassment. If someone has been sexually assaulted, we need to...
What you need is to get the fuck out of my face. I've had enough of explaining myself to you fucks. He's dead. It's done.
As you can see, these men can only take so much baseless scrutiny. I'm doing my best to keep the situation civil, but...
It's true. She was the only thing holding him back.
Okay, we need to be careful. We're running. I think we're only allowed a certain number of questions before Titus stops. So I think looks like there's an option to conclude the questioning. So maybe we can ask a few more. How did you kill him?
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, copper?
Gotcha.
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
You're pretty sure you've had at least 2 years of cop school and many more of active service.
The autopsy showed there were no ligature marks. His hands were not tied. Can you explain that?
The lieutenant goes in for the leg sweep. Titus does not see it coming.
Look, I'm not gonna play 20 questions with you, capo. I'll say it again. We killed him.
Kim, nicely done.
Yeah, I knocked him out. Came up behind him and clapped him in the back of the head. He went down like a sack of sand.
That's right, lawman. And then we hanged the fuck.
Elaine, Mr. Tats, what did you use to knock the victim out?
My fucking elbow, copper. Summer unboxing style.
Where did all this action take place?
Right fucking here. Eugene already told you that the fuck had started coming to our bar.
Yeah, man. Weren't you listening?
Ooh, things aren't quite right. It's a red check. It cannot be. Okay, no, we need to go back. I've got other questions about lynching. I think we need to ask about the bullet before we try this one.
Like what, Copper?
How does this bullet in his head factor into all this?
Huh?
A sip of beer makes the surprise go down easier.
There was a bullet in the dead man's brain. Why was it there if you hanged him?
Gotcha.
How the fuck do I know? Anyone could have shot him. Target practice, maybe.
Another sip. He's tight-lipped suddenly.
This line of questioning is over. You got the cause of death already? Hanging. If there's any post-mortem trauma, it's your problem. This will not turn into a cross-examination.
This was a good move. Also, notice how Titus doesn't like her much, especially when she's calling the shots.
Who called the shots that night?
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardie Boy without arresting all Hardie Boys. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
A shadow of a smirk passes her lips as she tilts her head.
Titus, keep addressing him. He wants everyone to know he's in charge.
No, but seriously, who calls the shots around here? And I'll talk to Titus.
Who do you fucking think does?
Evrart Clare runs the union. You answer to him, right? Yeah, it's Evrart Clare. Look, it could be the 8th Hardie Boy, but they just said that this person's not a member of the Hardie Boys. So, yeah, Evrart Clare runs the union. You answer to him, right?
You keep him the fuck out of this.
Huh.
We have autonomy. It's all on us. Evrart runs the union. I run the Hardie Boys.
When Titus Hardie says he runs the Hardie Boys, he means that in an administrative capacity. On that night, everyone acted as one man.
All right, let's go back to the how did you kill him question.
We hanged him up by his...
Didn't they take...
You're pretty sure
The autopsy showed there...
the lieutenant
Sorry, we'll
goes in for the...
skip through these a little bit.
That's right, lawman. And then we hanged the fuck.
All right, are we getting any minuses to composure? No, we're even getting a plus to it. Ugh. It's a red check. We can't fuck it up. I'm just wondering, do we drop another point in? We've got the spare points. What do you reckon? What do you reckon? Do we drop another point in it? We can. We've got the points. I reckon we do it. I reckon we... Yeah. I reckon... What are we up to? 72%. Like, that's pretty good. Oh, let's give it a go.
Titus is solid as a rock, and so are a few others. But...
So first tell me who's solid.
Elaine, who looks like he might be Titus's right-hand man, the least antsy of the bunch. Definitely not his first time being questioned by the police. This little rat-faced fellow is solid, too. Always fidgety, yes, but no change there. Him neither. Mostly keeps to his tomato juice, or whatever he's got there.
Alright, so who's cracking under the pressure? Fat Angus. This one. He's sweating profusely and has difficulty breathing. They've smartly kept him out of the conversation thus far. Definitely the weakest link in the chain. Hey you having trouble breathing over there?
No.
He looks up, startled, his forehead shiny from sweat. A few coiled locks are peeking out from under his warm woolen hat.
Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look at how fucking fat he is.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck off, Shanky. Angus is a powerful guy. All muscle.
Keep your eye on this powerful guy. Sooner or later, he's going to break like a piece of twig.
There's something you're not telling me.
And fuck you, too, Copper. Picking on Angus like this. We're done with this schoolyard shit. And just so you know, he doesn't have trouble breathing.
His all-muscle comment wasn't sarcastic. He's genuinely trying to look out for Angus. This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out of them about the night of the murder. Not yet.
Right, I've got other questions about the lynching.
Like what, Copper?
I'm not going to arrest him. There's no point. This is just going to end badly. So what are we going to do now?
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus. I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder. Even if it is a group responsibility, we're going to look into this.
Well said, Kim.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us, real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
Interesting. Okay, they do genuinely see themselves as the police here.
Rent-a-cop. So that's what this is about. He doesn't see you as his equals.
Yikes. You still haven't explained the bullet I found in the hangman's head.
You still on about that bullet? A bullet in a hangman's head. You're right, Copper. That is mighty curious.
Indeed, mighty. How did it get there?
Well, there are so many bullets in the world, and so many heads. I guess it's only logical. At some point, one of them bullets had to end up in one of them heads.
Nah, sorry, Titus. I'm not buying it. I know you're cracking under the pressure on this one.
It's bound to happen again, you know? Just statistically speaking, of course.
I'm going to ask you again. Why was this in the victim's head?
Wow! He's got it in a real evidence bag and all!
Why don't you go home and log it into evidence? These men have told you what happened.
Did you guys shoot him?
Shit! I probably did shoot him. I was drunk last night. You guys know me when I'm drunk.
Yeah, Glenn likes to shoot his guns when he's drunk. Better hope he stays sober.
No, he meant before he was hanged. Did you shoot him before you hanged him?
Before? After? During? This is getting ridiculous. They told you what happened. Stop wasting your time.
I think the hanging was a cover-up for the shooting.
You know what I think? I think he was shot in the head as a kid, and his brain grew around the bullet.
Around the bullet, man. That's a good one.
They're only pretending to enjoy this. Beneath the act,
yeah,
they don't like you knowing this.
Don't worry, guys. We'll figure this out sooner or later.
Never been worried in my life, lawman.
I doubt that.
It's not like you blew it wide open, but there's a little crack in there somewhere.
All right, we're going to jump out. I'm going to take off now. We've got items that can increase our authority. Let's put them on. Oh, we've also got the Colder Mamadakwa. Let's see what the Colder Mamadakwa thought gets us first quickly.
Colder Mamadakwa.
Oh, it's a pretty symbol.
It's not only your eardrums that register sound anymore. Your very skin has become an organ of hearing. Looking for a whisper light and low. A god who's very, very silent. Nothing escapes you. A cockroach in the other room. A candy wrapper falling on dry grass. A drunk falling from a chair in a bar 20 meters away. In fact, you haven't heard the Col du Mamadakwa, but you have discovered that you have amazing hearing. It must be the only part of you the alcohol hasn't drowned out. Keep listening.
+3 perception, -1 encyclopedia. No room for anything else. Hey, +3 perception is pretty damn good. Now, we've got +2 authority. Did we have anything else that was giving us authority as well? -2 authority. +1 suggestion. +1 logic. Okay, let's see what this thought is. Interesting. It's not really working. Let's try now. That thought doesn't really appear to be working. Let's try over here. Maybe that's... Oh, I think we've bugged it. Why is it that I break every video game I play? How am I doing this? Alright, I'll be back in a second. I'll just save and jump back in. See if that fixes it. Okay, I'm back. Saving and reloading absolutely fixed it straight away. So, we're not going to know what that extra little bubble was telling us, unfortunately, but that's okay. Now, we did have some minuses to authority. I believe we had a -1 from one of our thoughts. Yeah, bugger. Which one's giving us a minus to authority? Actual art degree, caustic echo. Okay, that's what's giving us the -1. But otherwise, we're doing pretty good. I'm not going to try and establish authority just yet. I think what we'll do for now, we're probably in a good spot to get Kim to go and take... oh, hello. I don't know how I get up there. Probably in a good position to get Kim to go and take the body for processing. So I think we'll send it forwards for that. Let's get that done now.
The man is decomposing visibly now. Every hour, he looks less like a creature and more like a pile of intestines. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Let's bag him. Take him away.
All right.
He takes out a shiny black body bag and starts pulling the plastic over the dead man's face.
I can drive him to processing today, no problem, since we stalled with this. But this does mean I will be gone for the rest of the day.
You'll be gone. What should I do in the meanwhile?
Work on the case, tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this.
Agreed.
This means Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave until if you have nothing to do.
I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands, I'll take the legs.
Bag the corpse, drag it to the motor carriage, and we'll look through our cases, talk to Joyce, and report back to Evrart about the door being open. I figure we'll do the corrupt stuff while we're in a position. Okay, so tell you what, let's chuck our normal shoes back on then. And I'll put our bag back in our hands just in case we come across... Oh, it's back again.
Hear that? Magnesium. That's what you're lacking. The lack of magnesium has you slouched.
Wait, there's a lack of magnesium in me?
Yes, and it's critical. Look at yourself. You're practically devolving into a fish due to the lack of magnesium in your bloodstream.
So I need to mag it sideways?
Mag it sideways? What are you talking about? You need to mag it up. You've probably had 2 heart attacks and a minor stroke already. And the only prescription is insane amounts of magnesium.
Oh my goodness, this is hilarious. So you're saying I need to become a magnesium-based life form? I need to stop thinking about this. What the hell? I don't think I want to become a magnesium-based life form. I'm going to stop thinking about this. Unbelievable. All right, let's head up this way. Let's go talk to Evrart. Oh, actually, we also needed to talk to our mate here. Give the key back as well. Call me mañana. Oh, there's a bubble in the fruit sign.
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you?
The weasel I visited. Turned out he has one hell of a colonial mug collection.
Yeah, the janitor who gave me the key to his apartment said the guy's a bit of an asshole.
Yeah, his mug collection certainly represented antiquated social values.
Like I said before, I don't know much about this weasel, but the bossman said he's a real piece of work. Thanks for helping out, friend.
Mañana, do you know anything now about Hardie Boys?
Los Hardis? They're an independent militant group. A bit too high-strung, but it comes with the responsibility.
They're an independent group. I thought they were part of the union.
They're sort of like you. Preserve the rule of law and all that. Except it's Evrat's law. But really, they're just like you.
Is he actually comparing you, an officer of the law, to some neighborhood vigilantes?
There's only one law friend, and that's me.
Why not? Must be nice being something else for a change. The rest of us are just folks.
He's so easygoing, Mañana. We know... I guess we could ask more about why they're striking. Why are you striking?
We're negotiating our share.
Your share?
Aye.
How large a share would you like?
All of it. However, right now we want all the harbor workers to be on the company's board, so they could take part in the decision-making process.
Are you a communist, Manana?
No. I don't think I'm a communist. Seeing something of value and saying I want it all to myself is a much older and simpler notion. No science to it at all. Even a weak child can think it. The only things holding someone back are I can't and I shouldn't.
Right on, brother.
Just the way the world works, boyadero.
The boss man, Evrart. Can you tell me about him?
I think it's best you make up your own mind now that you've met him. In my eyes, he is a capable organizer and a decent businessman.
What does bossing the union entail anyway?
I guess you kind of get to be the village chief. He oversees the harbor, makes deals with the owners or other relevant parties, watches out for his own.
Ah, you mean corruption?
By heavens, why would he not be corrupt? We live in a harsh and disordered world, see? And in this world, the old man is corrupt for our benefit, and we know it. Appreciate it even. He is, personally, not too lavish.
That does seem pretty lavish to me.
He is reasonably lavish, sure. That's his prerogative. It's not like you want a saintly demeanor on a corrupt motherfucker. That would be a manipulative illusion.
This is some incredible 4D chess going on. So in this world, to get things done, you need someone who's corrupt, so they deliberately have someone corrupt, and it's like an acceptable amount of corrupt. This is incredible. Brandon would love this.
Besides, there are no non-corrupt systems in the world anyway. And moralism is the most corrupt of them all.
It's whataboutism, mate. If as soon as you go to whataboutism, what about this, what about them, what about them? As soon as you go to whataboutism, you've already lost the argument.
Not you would like to say. But then there's that weasel door.
You seem to have spent a lot of time thinking about the political situation.
Sure. I've had the necessary free time. Fortunately, there's always time.
The look in his brown eyes conjures up an understanding.
Huh.
For him, having command of his time is the most important thing. It all comes together now. The way he speaks about scabs, his general attitude. He's a follower of a 500-year-old Franco-Nigerian Boyadero code, itself an appropriation of Vespertine cool. That of a noble peasant or a traveling herdsman. True to yourself, independent in your actions, loyal to your friends.
Maybe I'm a Boyadero.
No.
But...
No. The man sits on the railing, his hands reaching far and wide, yet it feels as if he could, effortlessly, go even wider, if need be. An endless torrent of time.
I love this game. Kuno told me you were supposed to know about the armor.
The little boy had the good on his promise.
His promise?
To get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me, pardon the choice of words. Not mine.
What happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official union probe, you know. Track it down, see who took it.
And did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, you know? So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere, the cops in his pocket, and he's the king of Jamrock. Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes.
So Kuno used us to what? Scare you?
It's a minor nuisance. It's all good.
Yeah, we're friends, Manana. I'm not coming after you. Probe into the armor. What did you learn, though?
I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk union man about some armor.
Yeah, but anything else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part.
What sort of technical stuff?
I did some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
How then?
In parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots were still on the guy last I saw. Too hard to remove. So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia.
Hold up. 4 pieces. Helmet, cuirass, gauntlets, boots. What about leggings?
Oh, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore, if they ever did at all. Forget about them. I did.
I'm ambitious. I'm going to find all of it. All the pieces.
And Mesqui's epic then, all across Martinez. I hope it will be a real bonanza for you.
Oh god, what have I just committed to? This is not going to be easy to find all the armor pieces.
Especially getting those boots off him. You'd have an easier time wrestling the spurs off a boyadero than that.
Got the boots already. Thanks for the cooperation, Mañana.
No problem. If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way.
He is sincerely grateful he is not tracking down pieces of armor right now.
Yeah, fair enough. I really fucked myself by agreeing to find all of them. Oh, hello. What's this? Hang on. Whoa. Sorry, I happened to just bump tab. What's this? Hypnogamma. Loads of morale. 9 morale that we can spend whenever we want. That is outstanding. Ah, see, we get new perceptions. A giant ass print on the pillow and a pattern of coffee rings on the armrest. Someone is habitually chilling next to the radio. Gotta love a big ass print. Let's head on back this way. Are there any more? Oh, there was another check we wanted to do. The container. Have we... What did we need to open it? Was it rhetoric? I don't think we've leveled up our rhetoric.
You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly.
Hey there, sugar.
The container door appears unmoved by your attempt at flattery. A tough nut to crack for sure, but the strongest containers often have the softest hearts.
You're a fine piece of engineering, do you know that?
The door does not respond to your advances. Is it possible that it seems somehow more closed than before? Why does this situation feel so familiar? Do you have a history of propositioning inanimate objects?
Give it a go. What am I getting? What's my rhetoric at the moment? Am I getting any minuses to rhetoric? I am. One of my items is giving -1. Hang on. What's giving us -1 to rhetoric? Hat. Let's take the hat off. Let's give it a go. Oh, does anything give us pluses to rhetoric? Logic. I don't think so. Cool. Alright, let's give it a go. May as well,
You're
right?
back before the cargo container. As it's always been, it's impossible to open a container with rhetoric. Maybe you're losing your mind.
No, I'm not losing my mind. This makes sense, I promise. Alright, let's head this way. Let's go talk to Evrart. See if there's anything else I can click on. Alright, let's go tell Evrart the door's open. That'll make him happy. Not that I want to make Evrart happy. I don't know.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always.
I love his voice.
Oh, I bet he's still fuming internally due to your no-sitting escapades. He doesn't like to lose a battle of will.
I opened the door, you asked me. Can we discuss the murder now?
I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
There is no way to sway this man in any direction. He is unsuggestible and unswayable. Just tell the truth.
Okay, I did go inside. Weasel had the flag of old Revachol on his wall.
Exactly the kind of fascist memorabilia I was expecting. Weasel probably prays to it every night for the downfall of the Union. Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good.
There was a collection of colonial mugs there, and I found a similar mug in the trash with the hangman's clothes.
Racist mugs in the trash and in the apartment? You guys are just light years ahead of me. I have so much confidence in the ability of your organization. I'm relieved you're doing this and leaving me to do what I do best, helping people, with the power of politics.
Do you think this weasel has something to do with my case?
Oh, no, 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 no. I don't cross paths like that. All I want is for you to succeed in your investigation. I would never complicate things for you.
But this weasel might have cleaned up after the killers.
Believe me, Harry, he's a nobody. Just your basement variety nobody. Can't imagine him being connected to a high-caliber case like this. But he does live nearby. Maybe it's a pedantic weasel. Fascists are known to be neat freaks. I feel like a real detective right now, Harry. Am I getting this right?
He imitates bashing something with an imaginary baton. There's more to police work than whacking and... No, I'm just going to say nothing.
Of course, Harry. Stoic silence. I like that. Very befitting a police officer. I'm not a real detective. You are.
That's all he's going to say on this subject.
Mr. Clare, I'd heard about a connection between a lynching and a strike. I'd like to hear what you know about it.
By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps.
I'm listening.
Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
I don't think he's lying. This makes sense with what we've learned. And our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire?
Yeah, I can't imagine that, unfortunately.
He performs a motion as if spraying bullets from a machine gun.
I'm talking beasts, hardened killers from proxy wars in Yesut, Semenine, Santa Maritza, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant.
Go on.
Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container.
Wait, they moved a container?
Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it. But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types. One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
How did he end up hanging from that tree, Mr. Clare?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill.
Yeah, but who exactly did the pushing?
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly. They're like you. Idealistic people who want to make sure that bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
Do you believe they killed the hangman?
One day Titus Hardie, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land."
Can you imagine Titus saying that?
He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
You're not afraid we're going to arrest him?
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
If he's just boasting, then it sure doesn't feel like that to you. He's not worried.
There was a bullet in the hangman's head, Mr. Clare.
So they shot him?
Yeah. Someone shot him in the head before they hanged him.
How odd. I don't know what to say, Harry. They told me they hanged him. A hanged man is what I saw when I took a look into that yard.
Hang on, but you just said you couldn't walk anywhere.
What I do know is, the case is in safe hands. If anyone can get to the bottom of this shot and hanged man, it's my favourite policeman, Harry.
How do you know the mercenaries were hired by the shipping company?
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates.
Shit, it's exactly what we said. So you think the security contractor organised the scabs?
You said it, Harry. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes.
The name of the company's Crenell this time. Might have been Sediment before.
Of course. You're always one step ahead of me, Harry. I'm no genius. I'm in this position because people like me.
You mentioned a lawyer girl?
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
Tell me about Titus Hardie and his crew.
Oh, they are simply fine young men. All seven,
Seven of them.
Exemplary union members. Always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
What more can you tell me? Who's the second in command? Who's the most violent?
Harry, they're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
Evrart, I met these Hardies. Can you ask them to cooperate with me, please?
But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
You can now go and tell Titus about this. See what he has to say.
He's not going to like the fact that I went to Claire behind his back.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
Wait, why are you giving it to me?
I'm not giving you anything. I'm just holding out 5 real.
Needless to say, this is another move. Don't take it.
Thanks, Mr. Clare, but I don't need it. I only wanted you to help me with the Hardie Boys.
Oh, I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out there. But I'm willing to share information. Was there anything else?
That's all. Thanks, Mr. Clare. Let's conclude for now.
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike.
Tell me now, then.
I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And, of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yet.
Yet?
Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
A man of the left. So you have to be a social democrat. He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
This is another corrupt scheme, isn't it? I'm not left, I'm not right. I do what my heart tells me to do.
What does your heart tell you about your lost gun, Harry? Does it tell you to forget about it? Or do you think it wants to be found? I think it's lonely and cold. I think it wants to be found, and I have a proposal for you.
What would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
What are these signatures for?
I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez. It will be righteous. We're gonna get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates.
Okay.
There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry.
Where is this place exactly?
On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village they're calling it. A gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry.
What will happen to the current occupants?
They are just going to have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a fancy new youth centre, designed by the best architects from Stella Marie.
Fine, if I happen to be there, I can ask them.
You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here.
He hands you an open, white envelope.
You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear there is some trouble with the waterlock, but they should fix it by Wednesday morning. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then we can talk about your gun.
I'm going to leave now, Evrart, but we might talk again later.
See you soon, Debardeur. Just kidding, but not too much.
Oh my god. So... Oh, it's an interactable item. We might have a bit of a look at that later. For now, I think let's have a bit of a look at the... We need to improve our hand-eye coordination to investigate the gun. We also had... Could also read this about Martinet's communism. I wonder what we're going to learn from that. We've done the map, and we've also got the book on cockatoos. So we've got a lot of things that we can investigate while we're waiting for Kim. I think for the moment, though, what we'll do, we'll head out of here. We'll leave Mr. Clare alone. And we'll make our way... back down towards... we'll make our way back down towards the Whirling in Rags. The Whirling in Rags. Oh, we've also got some... Sorry, hang on. There we go. I like to use the mouse to move just because I can then like keep an eye out for any things I might have missed, like orbs, things like that. But sometimes you get like a bit of a slowdown and sometimes it doesn't sort of pick itself up a little bit, which is a little bit annoying. Oh, I guess we could also investigate the apartment complex. I don't want to do too much without Kim because it is really handy having Kim around. And obviously I think Kim is an incredible character and my entire life's mission is now to help Kim in any way that I can. Fritte. Got the bag equipped. Yeah, there's nothing else I can pick up there. Okay. Yeah, well let's head over here and let's have a bit of a look through some of the items that we've just picked up. Alrighty, let's start by looking at the bullet a bit more closely.
The bullet is still safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp.
So we got +4 because we found a similar rifle and we're aware of the name of the antique rifle. Okay, let's give it another go.
A rifle, Revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46mm from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an antique or a retrofitted antique.
And to make?
The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindian theatre of the anti-centennial revolution 50 years ago.
Let's continue.
Incidentally, you have just such a rifle with you. The dusty old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial area. It's unusable, sadly. If it were, the bullet would probably fit the chamber.
It does fit the rifle. Is anyone still making these rifles?
No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around, usually broken. The quality was appalling.
Okay, but who uses Belgrave rifles these days?
Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for the same thing you found in that hidden weapons cache, only in working order.
Right.
Back at the station, the lieutenant is standing at a counter, diligently filling out paperwork to hand over to a tired records clerk. You should share your findings with him as soon as possible.
Will do. Put the bullet away for now. I think it's time for the book on cockatoos.
A cockatoo is a parrot with an erectile crest, found on the Seminine Islands and in southern Fas a la Mer. Known for their intelligence and general precociousness, cockatoos are popular birds in aviculture. However, they often exhibit various behavioral issues.
Alright, what more?
This book talks about the delicate nature of toos, as well as introducing some of the most popular species among the bird enthusiasts. The funeral cockatoo, the major majestic cockatoo, and the most common bang bang cockatoo. It's colorfully illustrated.
Alright, what problems do these birds have?
Where to even begin? All cockatoos are known for their needy natures, requiring attention for at least 2 full hours a day. They love to talk and have been described as lovable clowns who just don't know how to wrap up.
I could handle that. Be nice to have someone to talk to when feeling lonely.
Pet owners also report moodiness, loudness, and hostility as recurring issues. If left unsatisfied, cockatoos may scream non-stop, pluck their feathers, or become aggressive.
Right, that's pretty bad. Anything else?
It is not recommended to get a cockatoo if you're not able to cook them food every day and give them the full care that they need. These birds will never understand that you have a life of your own.
Yeah, but there's got to be something great about cockatoos as well, right?
You're right. Cockatoos are magnificent creatures. They love to perform, cuddle and show off, and will even scream for fun, often as loud as up to 135 decibels.
That is so loud.
Ouch. That must hurt.
All right, let's read about the funeral cockatoo.
This is a yellow-tailed black cockatoo. Its specific name, Psittacus venereus, relates to its dark and somber plumage. This bird looks as if dressed for a funeral, 24/7. There is something indisputably ominous about it.
Ooh. Cool. I'll read about the major majestic cockatoo.
Perhaps the most impressive of all the species, the endangered major majestic cockatoo, is often described as the most flamboyant bird in the jungle. Its pink-colored wings and flowing crest embellishing its proud and bumptious nature. In the words of poet-explorer Sir James Fournier, few birds more enliven the monotonous hues of the verdant forest than this big, bold, and beautiful species. It must be glorious to behold, dark pink and snow white.
I'll read about the most common bang-bang cockatoo.
Despite its banging name, the bang-bang cockatoo is actually the shyest of the species, common in almost all Seminoese forests, as well as zoos and homes all over the world. Its plumage is mainly grey and white. The Seminoese name bang-bang is thought to be of onomatopoeic origins.
Honestly, this bird does sound a bit like me.
Yes, but all those cockatoo species are so different. Which one are you?
The grey and common bang-bang. Isn't it obvious? I'm major majestic. The fuck-up are two. A fuck-up and a cockatoo? Only the funeral cockatoo in its darkness can truly grasp the depths of my doom-laden soul.
You're right. You're Psittacus venereus embodied. This ominous bird belongs on your heraldry.
I will put the book away. Did that legitimately complete a task? Sorry, where are we done? Yes, it did. Find your heraldic bird. Incredible. Amazing. Were there any other... There was another book we wanted to potentially look at, wasn't it? Yeah, La Fumée. Let's have a look.
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover.
Why antlers?
Because white antlers are one of the symbols of communism. They represent a society in accord with the natural world and, at the same time, above it.
And why Friesel?
Because Friesel was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see.
Right, flip through the pages, let's see what catches our eye.
To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white.
No pictures. Oh.
After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents. The magazine is divided into several sections: international developments, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note.
Yeah, let's check out the editor's note.
Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, du cristal à la fumée. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turn to smoke under communism. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée, unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel. La fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers. So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
I want to catch up on international developments.
This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free trade negotiations between the EPIS nations and the Free State of Semenine.
Nah.
You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border, something about bear wrestling in Samara, book riots in Yugograd. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Bear wrestling. Flip back to that.
All right, let's see what this bear wrestling's on about.
It seems to be part of a new public fitness initiative in the People's Republic of Samara, SRV, devised and promoted by none other than President Kanajinsky himself.
This has to be a bit of a satire of Putin, right?
According to this extremely credulous account, Uncle Sport, as he's affectionately known to his people, has recently decreed bear wrestling the national sport of the SRV.
Hang on, tell me more about this Uncle Sport.
Based on the description in this article, he appears to be an extremely competent and democratically elected president.
Great, now let's get to the bear wrestling.
It's quite straightforward. A standard match features one man, or in some cases woman, against one bear. 2 competitors, 1 ring, 5 rounds, or until incapacitation.
Oh my god.
According to the SRV's Ministry of Information, the program has been a tremendous success. Public support stands at 87%, and youth obesity and alcoholism rates are down 12% and 7% respectively.
I guess it's hard to fight a bear if you're drunk.
Precisely. For too long, drink has been a scourge to the working class, and President Kanajinsky is deeply committed to supplying the people with more wholesome entertainments.
I'll bet.
See, there are plenty of ways to find meaning in life. You don't need booze to feel alive.
Thank you, Volition. Always good to catch up on foreign affairs.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
What is Kunst und Kultur?
It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst und Kultur must mean arts and culture. As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays, as well as a brief artist spotlight featuring a local artist identified only as CS. The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée, a critical Mazovian perspective.
Tell me about the profile of CS.
This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A, made all the briefer by the subject's evident hostility to her interviewer. That certainly sounds like a certain delinquent youth who likes to harass you from her balcony.
It's Cindy the Skull, CS, Cindy Skull. Oh my goodness. Just a moment, what is this tip-top tourney?
The actual article is surprisingly light on details, but after skimming a page or two, you gather that it has something to do with motor carriage racing.
We should talk to Kim about that.
If you don't follow it, you only ever hear about the ludicrous sponsorships and obscene death toll.
All right, let's see what communists have to say about tip-top.
You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season, maybe sprinkled with some nice anecdotes about a few of the more colourful drivers. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the politically problematic aspects of Tip Top Tournée.
Wait, what's wrong with Tip Top?
Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships, and then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes.
Hang on, who wrote this stuff?
Oddly enough, this article has 2 bylines: Nasteb Encolada Bernal and Exilus Buka.
Buka.
There's no way those are real names.
Wait, why aren't they real names?
Have you ever met anyone named Exilus? Come on, they're plainly pseudonyms.
What's so bad about sponsorships?
Under capitalism, the article says, every pursuit has its price. Every pleasure, even one as elemental as the joy of racing others around a track, is reduced to an advertising opportunity.
I mean, I don't disagree with that.
Thus, the so-called tourney becomes a competition between increasingly meaningless brand signifiers. Your discount laundry detergent racing against a pack of Astra cigarettes, or even a fritter.
Shit, I don't disagree with that though. That's, yeah. Right, but then you get to see them crash.
And that precisely is what's problematic about it. Were it not for the promise of random, spectacular violence, audiences would quickly lose interest. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races that you're really watching for.
No, I'm pretty sure I like it for the racing.
Sure, you think that, but subconsciously, it's the visions of brand names being engulfed in flames that you crave. It's the stilted language and overconfident tone that's the real giveaway here. You're almost certainly reading a recycled university essay, one that could probably use some edits.
I'm just going to make a few quick changes.
Armed with Lena's friendly green ape pen, you spend entirely too much time writing constructive feedback in the margins of the page.
100% I was a teacher before I became a cop. Probably a PE teacher, given that we had that vision about the gym.
By the time you're finished, the original article is nearly illegible. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Let's see what they mean by local concerns.
Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified support for the dock workers' strike.
Fair enough.
You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. A city in revolt. First we take Martinez, then we take La Delta. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent.
Wouldn't it be better for everyone if labour and capital could reach some reasonable accommodation?
According to these editorials, there can be no accommodation with the forces of international capital or their mucilaginous allies in the coalition. Why do communists love puerile insults? And they wonder why they're always being left out in the cold.
That's interesting that empathy doesn't like communists. That's interesting.
You flip back to the front of the magazine.
All right, let's put it away. Interesting. Wait, have we just gained a new task? Oh, yeah, we need to talk to Joyce about the pail without Kim around. Were there any other things we could interact with? There was the white envelope. I'll leave that be for the moment. Let's go talk to Joyce. Oh, look. Got new orbs. There's something down there. I want to get down there and find out what it is. Is there some way down there? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, let's go talk to Joyce. Let's learn a little bit more about the pail. Oh, should we try the mural again? Have we improved our... What was it we need to improve?
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
+2 from in the dimming light, some things become clearer. +2, Cindy's artistic impulses are infectious. Yeah, let's give it a go.
Because you see it, finally. This wall is sublime. Look at it. The shadows, the colors.
Let the conceptual joy flow into your pupils and blossom into thoughts in your brain.
All the other walls on all the other houses must make a pilgrimage in adoration of this, the uncontested pinnacle of wallcraft, color peeled from the very face of God.
Becoming an art cop has made us a bit of a wanker. Give us more.
Oh, wall father.
Yes, I must paint this wall. Add to it. Get task.
Absolutely. Now you just need the materials.
I'm sure I'll find them, and then I'll return to this wall.
Yes, do that. The wall will be waiting.
Cindy probably has paint supplies for us. Hey, Cindy.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Cindy, I need some paint and your brush too.
What for?
For art. It's for art, okay?
Well, if it's for art. But what kind of art are we talking about?
Everything is sad and shit. We just need art to make it okay. Give me the brush. Grand art. Art deluxe. The artiest, most groundbreaking,
Let me stop you right there, Piggy. You have no idea, do you? No idea. No brush? Fuck off.
You'll see. You'll all see and tremble.
Yeah, not gonna hold my breath, Piggy. You look like you'd suck. Everything, really.
Yikes. We can only get this right. Oh my god. Are we getting any minuses to conceptualization? How do we bump conceptualization? No, we're getting a plus. Okay. We'll deal with that later then. We've only got one go at it. So you won't talk about the murder. Maybe you can tell me something about the murder victim's missing armor.
What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells?
Isn't armor art for the body?
Ugh, alright. Sad Piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military-grade handwear. Looked cute as hell. If you haven't been there, the village is a shithole down the coast from the main plaza. Have a good time!
And there's a little girl wearing her gloves there.
No. That's all the snitching Cindy the Skull does for today. Actually, I don't even know why I told you what I just told you. I have a weakness for animals. It's the animal thing again. Damn it.
Alright, catch you later, Cindy. Ooh.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint.
Cool.
So cool.
Where's it coming from?
From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit.
Actually, now that I hear superstar and law official in a sentence, they sound kind of weird together.
What are you, deaf? They're perfect, like rock star politician and drug addict teacher. Embrace the superstardom you've worked so hard to establish.
No, you've got the wrong impression. I'm no superstar. I'm trash.
Yeah, a cool, trash superstar. Big dick cop down on his luck. Salam Rocky by here. Badass on the edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera. Lights.
Wait, what was that about a ludicrous fantasy world?
Yeah, you know. Beneath it is just heartbreak, a pulmonary tract infection, atherosclerotic disease. This is where you say action and reconceptualize all that. Reinvent it as the world's first celebrity police officer. This is the beginning of your legend.
No, I'm too downbeat. I won't say those things anymore. Nah, we're not a superstar cop. We're an art cop. We've already committed to the art cop way of life. All right, let's have a chat to Joyce.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Questions about reality, Joyce?
More lessons in basic reality? My favourite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
Now that we're alone, what is pale?
Are you sure you're sure? Your colleague seemed adamant.
Yeah, what is the pale?
Okay. The pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the interocellular mass.
Wait, and just revise. What's an isla again?
Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the pale. Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7. Mundi, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, Insulinde.
And Insulinde is?
An oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say? Each is perishing and dear.
Okay, and what is the pale like?
Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The Pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
Is it here?
No, Detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the Isla.
As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens up in your stomach.
And there?
An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the Pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the Pale is called Porch Collapse. Imagine a grey coronal mist, cold vapor marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism, a mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see.
What are the Pale's physical qualities?
It's difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension, right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible.
It's almost like it strips information from matter. If you're curious about this, and you like how this kind of world is built, I would very much recommend a book called The Gone Away World by Nick Harkaway. Similar kind of setup where there's basically this device that's created that strips information from matter. Very interesting. If we're surrounded by Pale, how do you get from Isla to Isla?
Oh, it is so difficult for us.
A squall of birds, hardware operating in the harbor. Firm, self-evident.
It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost, or having our minds damaged.
The Pale can damage the mind?
Extensively.
How?
Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
What does this over-radiation feel like?
It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of Pale exposure per year.
It's more for her. Way more.
You're not a civilian passenger, are you?
No, nameless detective of the Citizens Militia. I am a member of the Entropanetic Business Class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of Pale transit annually.
Perhaps that explains her strange pining after the revolution. Some degraded early memories.
Are you over-radiated?
Up to my gills, officer.
What is entropanetic?
Entropanetics is the scientific study of the Pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the Pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
Did they cross it, the Western Plain?
There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years.
Has entropanetics changed then?
Nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later.
Aerostatic craft, like the airships?
Hybrid airships, detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines, no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near pale to far pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end, if we throw them precisely.
And if we don't?
Then they don't.
Gone, like a skipping stone beneath the surface.
How much pale is there compared to the world?
The pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping.
Slipping how? To our detriment, or...?
What do you think, Detective?
It's growing. There is more and more of the pale.
Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists.
It's not extreme at all. It's going to happen.
Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same.
Off we go. You see the hanged man's mouth open.
Off we go, into the wild pale yonder.
One and all. They say pale is death, but for the universe.
Why should we just leave, and the world get left behind?
Let's return to reality, please, Joyce.
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, Detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything?
I'm getting a sense of who I am, but no. I didn't know this.
Beyond curious. Tell me, what do you think of the pale?
You were right. It's Disco.
Mm-hmm.
Her eyes tense. Crow's feet radiate from them. She observes you, your bloodshot eyes and swollen face.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then...
I'll handle it. It's under control.
I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile...
Some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here.
Especially if she was supposed to be in charge of these mercenaries and they got out of control.
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
I'll leave her be for the moment.
Glad to have been of assistance.
Thank you. Let's head in and see if we can... I'm not going to buy the found pants from Kuno yet, because he said he was charging like $60 or something. 30 bucks, I think it was. 30 real. Cindy's not going to lend us a paint can, which is really annoying. Let's head back on over. Actually, I want to explore the apartment buildings. Sorry, I've come the long way around. Let's head back in. I want to have a bit of a look in the apartment buildings. We won't do too much exploration without Kim, but I wouldn't mind getting a bit of a lay of the land, seeing what we've got access to. Maybe even see if we can get upstairs to visit Cindy the Skull up above. Kuno S is still there. Let's head inside. We'll come back and catch up with Kim later. Eviction notices and missing pets are plastered on top of each other. Ooh, +1 logic, -1 authority. What are our current classes giving us? +1 visual calculus. I'll keep the visual calculus. The box is filled with cleaning chemicals. Smells of laundry detergent. An old shoe rack, boots, sneakers, and old slippers. These shoes come in 3 different sizes. Apartment 12. A loud, rumbling snore comes from within. Moss crawls on these bathroom tiles. Actual moss. Oh, we found some alcohol. Gonna need to get rid of that and sell it. These shower curtains are covered in some sort of slime. We are not going to succumb to drink. Harry is going to stay strong. Money hidden in shoes. Someone has drawn a 5-pointed star on the wall.
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says, number 11.
Let's knock.
No reply.
I'll examine the padlock.
It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. A solid pair of chain cutters would make short work of it. Better whip out those cutters. You won't get very far otherwise.
Sure, Kim's not here.
This door has been closed with a pad. The shackle snaps like a twig, and the lock falls to the floor with a little thud. It should be possible to enter now.
Kim's not here. He can't get cross at me for breaking into... Oh, we can actually hold that in our hand. Oh, and it's got uses. Okay, cool. Let's head on inside. Oh, this is a communist's house. Look, they've got the communist sign. A flamboyant poster of a white star. Real lithography. Photos of revolutionaries posing with guns. Books of critical theory on the monstrosities of capital and such. Revolutionaries love to pose with their guns. Found a bullet and a Samrazinian lounge jacket. +1 conceptualization. That might come in handy when talking to Cindy.
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads, Kraz Marzov.
Communard lives in this room. Look around.
A poor communard, from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet.
Krazmazov was a mass murderer. Nothing cool about keeping his bust on your nightstand.
The bust doesn't reply. The hallway behind the door is empty. No one heard your words.
Let's keep exploring. And pocketing everything we come across. Take some more coins. Check this letterbox. Take a postcard. Ah, this is great. We're finding all sorts of good stuff. Door number 9 is locked. Apartment 8. Their mailbox is overflowing. The graffito says, a firing squad for the rich. A note reads, foreclosed by Martinez Realty Associates. 16 days of coldest April. Definitely check that out a little bit. Waves crashing in the darkness. Someone has torn down the wall. An old grocery list on the table, and checks. Alrighty, let's head out here. There we go. Got some containers over here, containers up there.
Ruination has come. The broken arches betray the once grand history of this building. It towered over the harbor until it happened.
Form a guess about what happened.
A great force from the northeast fired into the city. Heavy artillery shelled the coastline. Fired from the water. A straight shot into Revachol. The tenement acted as a defensive wall against the worst of the shelling until it was destroyed, and they had a direct firing line.
Take in the ocean.
The waves of the Martinez Inlet roll over the fallen remains of the building. The dark waters obscure the better part of the remains.
Look at the ruins in the water.
Those arches acted as support for something greater than what you see now. Only 3 stories stand where 9 to 12 once did. Restoration has failed. What the shelling took out was never rebuilt.
Who did this damage?
A fleet, the combined armies of Occident and Grad, with Mesk volunteers, a 5-nation army, hundreds of vessels. They massed airships further down in the Bay of Revachol. The artillery was so powerful. The ships not only required gyroscopic stabilization, they were anchored into the ocean floor as well. Many are still there to this day. If you squint, you can just barely see the shadow on the water, far in the northeast. Cannons still ready to placate Revachol.
Time to go. Yikes. Sometimes this game is so real. The door is locked. You can't get in. The chair's new. Someone lives back here. Above, tarps flap in the wind. Forgotten hammers and nails rust. Oh, there's Cindy's skull. I like that. It's good. Someone's been sleeping here. Recently. Cindy? 100 tiny feet scurrying beneath the grate. The rats of the city. Enough coal to last for several winters. Smells of chemicals. Pour le homme labourer jeans. +1 electrochemistry, -1 reaction speed. No thank you. Ah, this one's locked. What if I was to equip my handy crowbar? Some coins. Brilliant. Anything else in here we can click on? No. Get our plastic bag back out again, just so we can be prepared with that. And let's go talk to Cindy. Now that we're up here.
Ooh, the piggies have learned how to saunter up staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves. But here you are.
That's right, we've evolved.
Yeah, I can see that. Cool mutations.
That smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint. It's heavy fuel oil.
Is that heavy fuel oil?
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? This shit is pumped out of government vehicles.
She did it herself. Pumped it out. She's proud of it too.
Some pretty clever cultural commentary.
You ain't seen nothing yet, piggy boo.
Is that bed in the coal room yours?
Ooh. Not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal.
It's not the nicest place, but I guess it'll have to do.
It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Like me. Right now, I'm doing nothing at all.
Don't you have a real home?
Does anyone in a city like this?
If there's pain about any particular home she's lost, she's buried it deep, fortified herself against it.
Really? You're a miner?
Yes. I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me, but somehow it never happens.
Cool. I've got other questions.
Shoot, Piggy. It's what you do, isn't it?
Let's put our other... We got some new clothes that gave us conceptualization. Let's put our Samaran jacket. Anything else to get us conceptualization? I'll take any conceptualization we've got. Okay. Let's see, is this enough?
Hello again, officers.
Yikes.
Have you come to admire my mural?
Nah, okay, that's fine. We'll do that one later, when I've leveled up my conceptualization a bit more. I think for now, let's head back inside. Let's unlock this door here. Cool, that's unlocked, and let's head... I'll talk to this lady when Kim's with us. We'll investigate this door when Kim's with us as well. Oh.
That isn't just a 5-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers. The iconography of communism, in other words.
We'd already figured that out. Inspect your symbol closer.
The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mezov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear in equal measure.
Why is the star upside down?
To symbolize the toppling of the old order. Also, some social democrats were already using it.
And why white?
Because white is the color of peace.
What does it evoke in me?
You see noble aims, but also mountains upon mountains of corpses. They should have taken a more measured approach. Also, You're really smart.
Thanks, Encyclopedia. It's nice to say I'm really smart. This is the door we needed to go out. To inspect this upper balcony. A maroon glow of light pollution rises from the east. The breaker box is full of cigarette butts and electric wires. You hear distant traffic. Night is falling on the city. Curtains shift, just a little. Someone is watching from within. Ready my crowbar again? Yes. Get some more gold, some more real. It's just a door. Nothing for you here right now. Fair enough. Someone's growing rosemary, thyme, and a cactus. 28. A door to be remembered. This is the door to apartment 29. Complete silence. Whoever lives here isn't home. This is the door to apartment 30. Voices from within, singing along to a buoyant dance track. Cool. Pick those up. Should probably go and pay Gart for the room. I think we're probably reaching a good point to wrap up for today. In fact, I think this probably is a good point to wrap up for today. There's probably some more things we'll do before we head to bed. So I'd say for the moment, let's wrap up there. We'll come back next session, next episode. We'll have a bit more of an explore as Hardie Boys while Kim is away. And we will, we'll start the next day as well. So until then, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you guys all soon.